I've been crushing it in e-commerce for the past 6 years, and I literally went from zero all the way to $30 million in revenue. And I've helped hundreds of beginners transform their lives, and most of them are actually doing so well that they've literally quit their jobs to do this full time. But this isn't going to be some random motivational video. It's going to be a step-by-step course that is actually proven to get results. And I'm going to give it to you for free right here on YouTube. So if you're actually serious about changing your life with e-commerce, you're in the right place. Let's get right into it. So first things first, I want to be very clear that this YouTube video is going to be very different than any other tutorial out there on YouTube. So if you want to go to the $1,000 per day, you want to do $10,000 per day, or even $100,000 per day, all starts and ends with the product. Okay, because if you fuck this step up, the rest of the steps we're going to discuss in later don't make any sense anymore. They're not going to work anyways. If you could push the best traffic to it, you could be the best marketer, but if your product is shit, unfortunately it's just not going to work out. And obviously, look, me as a great seller, I could sell almost anything, but there are obviously products which I could sell better than others, right? Like for example, I could sell shit in a box. I could probably make millions of that. I know I could sell more with something which people would actually want. You get what I mean? First thing we're going to do is the product research, right? That's where it all starts. So before we're going to dive into the actual product research method we're using, I want to discuss the first things first, okay? Which is the niches. Obviously, when you're picking a product, it all starts with the niche, right? Like we have to know, okay, which niche do we want to be looking for products and which ones do we want to avoid? Let me write down niches that are a do and niches that are don't. Let's do like that. I think there are also neutral niches, which I will also name. One of the most asked questions in my DM is, hey, which niche should I sell in? So let's start with the one which everyone asks about, which I think you guys all know about, which is the clothing niche. I think the clothing niche is one that you should not be touching. The reason for that is everyone wants to start a clothing brand, and it's one of the most competitive niches out there. Obviously, it's one of the most niches with the most buyers as well, because most women, most men, a lot of something you always buy is clothing, right? But I would avoid the niche. First of all, because if you get the products out of China, the sizes are very hard to figure out. A lot of times, especially if you're going to go for the general fashion dropshipping route, which a lot of guys are doing. In one of the next videos, I'm actually going to do a store review. And a lot of guys submitted fashion dropshipping stores to me, which I'm going to give my opinion about that in that video. But am I saying don't touch clothing at all? As your first brand, I wouldn't touch it. Maybe once you've gone millions of revenue like I have done, maybe you can touch clothing. What are more niches? A very good niche which I would touch is woman/beauty niche. What I mean about woman/beauty niche could be like hair straighteners, could be makeup, could be skin products, right? Skin machines to make skin smooth, shapewear, right? Which could be placed in clothing. I would say it's neutral. That's a different story. But anything beauty related, right? Anything that a woman could use to make herself more beautiful, to remove her insecurities. Because a lot of times if you go into the beauty niche and the woman niche, you're solving a very big problem, which could be, okay, solving insecurity about a girl. Okay, whenever you have a product which, as a girl, has a lot of acne on her face and she's very insecure about it, you could solve that with your product. Solving insecurities always sells because people are willing to pay big bucks to solve the insecurities, and especially the women who have way too much money from their husbands. So next niche, which I think is really good, is the sporting good niche. Obviously, I could be a little bit biased, but I think the sporting good niche is very good because a lot of times this is very low SKU. What I mean with this, for example, with clothing, you're very high SKU. And SKU is basically your variants of products. If I'm selling pants, that means I have different colors of pants and I have different sizes of pants, which means that if I'm ever going to buy stock, if I'm going to be having variants of the products, you're going to have a lot of variants of products. Supply chain, big headache, especially if you're going to be buying stock one day. With sporting goods, for example, with my soccer balls, basketballs, American footballs, I only have one SKU per product variant. It just makes your life way easier. So throughout the product research, I'll give you guys requirements as well between there. And one of the requirements for sure is going to be as low SKU as possible. As little variants as possible will make your life a lot easier, trust me. So another very good niche is pain point products. So you have a lot of older people who have back pain or they have knee pain. You can solve that with a product. Again, you're solving a big problem, you get paid big bucks. Like Elon Musk always said, the guys who solve the biggest problems get paid the biggest rewards. And that's the same in here with ecom. If you solve someone in back pain, which they have years of problems with, well, you have a product you're selling, you can easily sell it for $200-300. Another great niche is the pet products. I think pet products is one of the best niches out there because the thing is, people who own a dog, own a cat, and they would buy everything for them. It's literally their child. They even treat their dog. I have a little dog as well, and I see him as my little brother as well. So people buy everything for their dog. Okay, it could be any accessories. There's so many things you can think of with a dog. Okay, also customizable products, anything you can sell with pets. Pets, one of the best niches out there by far, especially dogs and cats. I could go obviously actually go endlessly with this list, but I would say don't. And I'm gonna make it a little bit more shorter in there. But like I would avoid products which weigh above 1 kilogram, especially with supply chain. You're gonna make it yourself very hard. And there are a lot of products out there. If you're gonna be using the product research strategy, which I'm gonna be discussing in a minute, you come across tens of products or hundreds of products which are very big and very heavy, and your shipping will be very expensive and your cost of goods will be very high. I would avoid it because it's also very, very much headache to sell this. You wanna have light and easy to ship in here. Okay, it could be jewelry products which are basically easy to ship. It speaks for itself. You can make your life a lot easier. So I could go hours about niches, but you guys get what I mean. Okay, you have good niches, bad niches. So we're gonna be obviously diving deeper into this along the video. So next, I wanna talk about the ways to do product research. I am not gonna dive like into the product research methods because I've made a whole separate video on this channel about product research methods, which you can basically watch. I'll link it down below in the video or put it somewhere here, I don't know. But I will show you the best methods in here, okay, without diving too deep into it. First method is exploding topics. This is a great one, exploring topics, because you can basically spot trends early and you can catch trends early. You see that there's a lot of search demand for it. I won't be diving into how it works. You can watch that other video. Second one, which I think is very good, which all of you guys are probably using. Maybe some of you guys have found me through there. TikTok, I know the brain rot platform, but you could be looking for TikTok, maybe buy it, and you'll find hundreds and thousands of fucking products. We can check it out here.
One thing about me is
the good thing about TikTok is that you literally see proof of concept already. Okay, because if there's a lot of likes, there's a lot of engagement with the product, you know there's a lot of fucking demand for the product. Otherwise, there wouldn't be so much engagement. People are already interested in the product, and you have content in there, which we're gonna discuss later in this video. So TikTok made me buy it is a great search one you can search for. Next one, which I really like personally, is gonna be Kalo data. Kalo data will find you millions of products which are crushing it on TikTok shops, which you could bring on Facebook, because we like to run Facebook ads, which obviously we're gonna be diving deep into in this video as well. Product research is all about finding gaps. You're not trying to invent something which doesn't exist yet, okay? We're not Steve Jobs, maybe you wanna be, but my point is, I wouldn't invent the next product. You wanna go into something which is already selling well. That's why we use all these product research methods, because we can find products that are trending right now, that are getting a lot of traction right now, that are getting a lot of sales right now, which have a lot of sellers, because if there's a lot of sellers, it also means that there's a lot of demand. So we wanna be selling products that already have proof of concept, especially if you're just starting out. If you're as experienced as me, you can go into products which have less proof of concept and have a lot of potential because you got the experience to spot that, but you probably don't have it right now. So Kalo data is great because you can basically look for top products. Where can I go? I can go to category, literally see this product, this beauty product in here made $218 million revenue in the last 30 days. This woman underwear made $120,000 revenue in here. It's crazy, okay? Fashion accessories, you can scroll endlessly on here, okay? We can even filter by creator. So you have, for example, you have some girls in here, what they're promoting. It can go endless in here. For this whole video, I do want to select something without doing too much research on it, obviously, just for this video. So I can actually show you guys how to build a store, make ads and stuff like that. So for this video, let me just select something which I think is selling well. Let me just be scrolling on here. Let's just select something in here. What's interesting? Oh, this one, okay. This is a product actually similar to the case study I've done. Check this one out. Good thing about Kalo data actually is that you can also see the creators which are already making content for it, and you can literally see the creators which are actually being run right now. Okay, so you can make your life a lot fucking easier because you can actually rip these fucking ads and run them on Facebook yourself without making any content yourself. So let's pick this product. Okay, let's pick this product for this example. I can just blowout boost, it's called. I can look it up maybe on Alibaba as well, just to be sure that the cost of goods are in our range. Generally, I would say, look, you can buy it for like $10 cost of goods. You can probably negotiate it down. Look, $4 probably a worse model. This product is probably selling in between like $30 and $100 from the high end. And that's the range where we want to be in. If you're just starting out, avoid the price range of $100 plus. If you're going to be selling products of $100 plus, they have to be thinking about it. They have less buying power to actually buy it. So you want to be sitting between $30 and $100 selling price. And this one, you can probably buy this product between $5 and $15 for cost of goods. So that's within our range. We want to have at least 3 to 5x of cost of goods to selling price. At least. Meaning if I buy something for $10, I want to sell it for at least $30. But higher the better, of course, because if you're going to go below the 3x markup, you're going to notice that your margins are going to be too small to run ads on Facebook, and you are basically running a charity. And so last thing about Kalo data and all the product research methods I just named, I have a link in the description where you can basically sign up for only like $1 a day or something like that. And it's a special link where you can basically sign up for only $25 a month and you get access to all the product research tools which are out there. Shop Hunter, Winning Hunter, doesn't matter which product research tool, it's all in there for only $25 a month. Because if you would basically take all these subscriptions yourself, you would spend a couple of K, I believe, per month. With this tool, it's a special deal for only for you guys. So go sign up in the description for that. Literally nothing. You can only use it for a month. I'm not sponsored by them, but it's just a tool which will save you a lot of money in the future. Of course, if you want to sign up everywhere directly and pay a couple of K per month, throw your money in the bin. But if you want to actually save money, use the link in the description. The next product research method is actually Facebook Ad Library. I already talked about it in the other video, but I still want to show it to all of you beginners in here. So Facebook Ad Library is basically, you can see all the ads are being run on Facebook right now. As you guys can see in here, I found a competitor already who is selling this for 200 dirham, which is like 50 bucks. And bang, we found it for a competitor. I can just go here, I can see all of the ads that are running. And yeah, Facebook Ad Library, I would search more general terms like probably your product name, or I would search like 10% off, 20% discount, free shipping, stuff like that. Okay, without diving too deep into it, because I already discussed in another video, you guys can use Facebook Ad Library to do a lot of research. One more thing which I wanted to show you guys is our product research templates, which we use within the Winner Circle for all of our students, which makes your life like 100 times easier because we structure everything and we use a bulletproof method to find products. But I already explained you guys the basics. This template will basically avoid yourself making mistakes and finding products which are shit. So this template's only for my actual students, okay? But will make your life 10 times easier and will basically give you a bulletproof method to finding winning products. And if you guys actually want to apply for the one-on-one mentorship, where I personally and my team help you personally start or scale your own e-commerce store, links in the description to apply for the mentorship. But without further ado, let's get to the next step. So obviously the next part, which is after you found a product, you have to build an actual store. Obviously the place where we're going to be building a store, which you guys probably know, is Shopify. I actually have a special deal for you guys for Shopify, because if you guys sign up with my link in the description for Shopify, you guys can basically get 3 months Shopify for only $1 a month. Normally if you sign up, you get it at 2 months for $1. So if you guys actually want to support me and pay for my expensive studio in here, go use the link in the description for Shopify if you're going to be signing up for Shopify anyways. So without further ado, I am going to make a test account on Shopify. Before we're going to sign up for Shopify, one more important thing which I almost forgot about is obviously you need to find a brand name. And this is where a lot of people get stuck, because people spend months, days, weeks thinking about how the fuck should I name my brand? Bro, that's the last thing you should be worrying about, because nowadays in 2025 or 2026, whenever the fuck you're watching this, you have ChatGPT, you have AI. You don't even have to think anymore, bro. You even have tools where they build your whole store for AI, but that's a different video. What I would want to suggest you guys is use ChatGPT to find your brand name. Back to the example, obviously you want to be selling this blowout product, which you guys saw in here. What I could just do is say, hey ChatGPT, I'm going to be selling a hair curling product. I want to start a new brand in the woman beauty niche. Give me a nice, elegant, I would say, give me 10 brand name ideas. Make them luxury, feminine, but not too niche. Okay, so we're gonna ask ChatGPT this. So here are 10 brand name ideas. Lunel, Velura, Celise, Aurelia, Mirella, Liora. Okay, easy to pronounce, please. Also something I could buy a domain for, okay? Because that's important. Like, you don't want to name your brand like L'Oreal, because obviously you're going to get lawsuits, you're going to be fucked. So I don't recommend that. Go for something which actually the trademark is not taken, you can actually still buy a domain for. Like if you have Fiora, you don't need to buy Fiora.com, but you're going to do like shopfiora.com, or you can go like heyfiora.com, or you can get a fioraco.com. Actually, let's go for Fiora. Sounds nice. I didn't do any research. Again, I don't have time to do hours of research right now, but you guys should do the research once you guys found a brand name. But you guys seen, it only took me 1.5 minutes to find this brand name. Actually, everyone knows how to do this. So I'm gonna skip this step. Bang, you're gonna make a free trial. Okay, make an account. Bang, create Shopify account. Skip, you don't even have to put your credit card in. Online store, this doesn't really matter. Skip customize step, existing business, new business idea. So we just created our very first store in here. My store, where can I put the name? Bang. Probably thousands of tutorials how to create your own Shopify store. I am unfortunately not gonna go through every single tab, but what I recommend to you for Shopify is just go through every single tab on Shopify, learn the basics. It's very simple. Even my little sister or my grandma could use Shopify, so I'm sure you can, okay, because you're not a retard. In this example, obviously we chose the previous product. I would 100% just recommend to go with a free team, or you could buy a team if you want to, but like honestly, I also start with a free team on my Bright store. I recommend you as well. You can easily build a 6 or 7 figure store with a free team. team. I've done it myself as well. And yeah, just go through every single tab, go through all the settings, and you'll be able to figure it out. So for the Facebook ad strategy, again, I'm not gonna make a Facebook ad account, explain you guys the basics, but I will explain to you guys the high level structure. I actually made a whole video about this on my YouTube channel as well, which you guys can basically watch for free, 20 minutes long, only about Facebook ads on every different stage. From your beginning stage to your first $1,000 day. I'll put it also in the description for you guys to watch. So on a high level structure, I would literally work with an ASC campaign. It's very simple. You guys can figure it out on Facebook ad accounts. It's all going to be in there. Then what you guys want to be doing is basically putting at least 5 to 10 creatives under here. 5 to 10 creatives, I would put it under here. I would put a budget from 50 to 100 bucks to it as your first test. And I would let it run for at least 3 days. That's what I would do at least. What you guys have to realize, the more budget you put towards it, the faster you'll see results. I recommend 50 to 100 bucks at least, especially if you're between a price point of $30 and $100. Especially on 3 days run, you're gonna see if you're gonna be profitable or not profitable. And these 5 to 10 creatives, we can talk about this part because this thing, like I said, my grandma could understand this part. This is very simple. But where the hard part is, because this is green for money, is where the fucking dollars are made in the creatives, okay? Because this structure is very simple. Everyone can do this. But this is where you differentiate because everyone is using an ASC campaign. And nowadays, Mark Zuckerberg, you guys obviously know him, has made it so easy for everyone that Facebook does all the heavy lifting. What Facebook wants you to do is make creatives that actually convert, which makes people stop scrolling, makes them click on the fucking video, click on add to cart and buy it right now. So you make money, you spend more on Facebook, Facebook makes more money, Mark Zuckerberg gets richer. In the beginning, you don't have to make any ads yourself. What you want to be doing is literally ripping all the ads online, or how I better like to call it, borrowing that content online. I don't recommend any of my students to make any content before they've seen proof of concept. So what you could literally do is just go to TikTok, source some creatives, okay? You could go to any platform, you can search it on Google, you can check your competitors on Facebook ad library, but let's, for this example, only look at TikTok. Obviously, what is our product called is hair curler. So I could look up a hair curler on TikTok and I can probably find 1,000 videos from this product. So as you guys can see, different variants. I just have to find my specific variant in here. Yeah, this is probably one that looks like it. Yeah, so you guys see, look, hundreds, if not thousands of creatives of this product. You can literally be ripping this, maybe add a CTA in the end, a call to action in the end, bang. You can even be running this directly. The game is too easy nowadays. I don't get how you guys are not all millionaires, or at least doing 6 figures a month with ecom, because this game is so easy, bro. I don't even know why the fuck I'm making actually a tutorial about this, because this is so easy. What you do, borrow this creative and run it on Facebook with the ad structure I just explained to you. 5 to 10 videos, write a caption yourself, or let AI write the caption for you. Easy. Common mistakes which a lot of people are making throughout this whole process, because I know I discussed a lot of the basics, I discussed things which most of you guys already know, but for the guys who don't know about it and for the guys who do know about it, there's still some common mistakes which I want to go through. The very first common mistake which I see is that you move too slow. You spend way too much time on product research. I know you want to spend some time on product research because it's one of the most important parts, but like, don't spend months trying to search a product. Just go for something, trial and error, to learn if a product is bad or product is good, if you move fast. So second one is falling in love with your product. I've seen this way too many times where you're like, okay, I believe this product will work, which is good. Conviction is good, but don't fall in love with your product, because there is millions of products out there which you could sell. If your product is just not winning, you've tried everything to make your product work and it still doesn't work, just move on to the next. There's gonna be a better product. Believe me, I've seen so many students of mine, I told them, hey, this product is not gonna hit, but they're still like, okay, I believe in it. But I told them, hey, we've tried everything, just move on to the next. And then they listen, apply the same strategies to a different product, they go to $10,000 per day in 3 weeks. Okay, that's how fast it can go. Third common mistake I see, not daring to spend any money on tests. It's learning money. If you lose money in your first spend, it is learning money. Don't be scared to spend a little bit of money, because you don't get rich by betting like a bitch. Don't be scared to lose a couple of $100 to $1,000 on ads just so you get to understand the game. Fourth one is not doing proper product research. Okay, this one speaks for itself. If you just go with anything you see online, you're never going to become successful. So you don't want to spend months on product research, but you also don't want to spend 10 minutes on product research. You need to spend some time to find an actual product which has proof of concept and ticks off the boxes. And I actually want to show you guys this roadmap which we use for all of our students. It's a whole phase roadmap. Unfortunately, I do have to blur it, but this is basically the whole roadmap and the blueprint we follow within a winner circle. I already briefly touched upon the roadmap in this video. And if you guys actually want me to personally help you find your first winning product, to making your first store, to doing your first dollars in revenue, to scaling it to your first $10,000 a day, so DM me the word winner on Instagram if you guys want to apply for the mentorship. So next part, how do you want to be fulfilling products? This is basically the method, okay? I discussed it already in the previous video, but I'm going to be discussing it for you guys again, for the guys who didn't watch that video briefly. So in this case, what you guys want to be doing is the hybrid GigaChat thinking method. In this case, especially if you're just starting out, I would forget about all of this. So this is for the experienced people in here. Go watch that full video, by the way, when I'm explaining it. But for the guys who are just starting out, what you're going to be doing is just this. And you're going to be paying your agent for cost of goods plus shipping. Yeah, basically, if you have a very good agent, he can basically send it to your customer within 1 or 2 weeks, usually within 1 week if they have it in stock. And basically, the agent handles everything for you in China. The agent can even help you with contacts in China, network in China, everything. If you guys want to be working with the best agent in the game, because I've tested a lot of agents, and this one is by far the best on service, communication, product prices, shipping time, by far everywhere the best. I even met him in China. I'm actually going to put a link in the description how you can get in touch with the exact supplier that I use to scale over $30 million with e-commerce. So this is the method you want to be using. Your brand buys for cost of goods, pays to agent sends direct to the customer. Easy peasy. The benefits are listed in here. You can scale very fast, you can save on bulk shipping, and your shipping is fast, and you can ship basically everywhere. So one more thing which everyone asks me about, and this is actually what I believe differentiates a bad coach from a good coach, is scenario planning. What I mean with that is basically, what do you do in different scenarios? I will try to go through it as much as possible, but generally your ideal scenario is good CPC, okay, which is depends per country, so I cannot put an exact amount to it, but let's say $1 cost per click. You have good CPMs, you have a very good CVR, okay? CVR also depends on the price of product you're selling, because the higher price point you're selling a product, the lower your conversion rate is going to be. But I would want to say at least 2.5%. If it's above 2.5%, I think that's healthy. So break-even ROAS, so you have to calculate obviously your break-even ROAS. Yeah, so break-even ROAS, bang, just calculate like this what your break-even ROAS is, but you're having a healthy ROAS and you have a margin which is above 20%. If your margin is above 20%, this is ideal on your first test. If this is happening, what you do in this situation, you scale like a motherfucker. You up your budget by 20 to 50% per day, and you test massive amounts of new creatives. And this is how you go to your first 1K day. Easy. After that, scaling part I will leave out for a different video, but also discuss in the Facebook ads video. This is obviously the ideal scenario. So we're gonna have a scenario in here where you have a very bad scenario. So you have bad CPC. Again, I don't want to put a pinpoint to it, but I would say $2 plus. If you're selling in the USA, you have a bad CPM, which is like 40 plus. Slow CVR, like below 1%, I would say. ROAS, which is basically below break-even ROAS, and your margin is below 10%. So what you do in this situation, you have to check which metric is bad. Is the CPC bad? Is the CPM bad? Is the CVR bad? If all of them are bad, you have to check, okay, maybe my product is bad. Obviously, I cannot give an exact answer in terms of, okay, this is what happened, because every scenario is different, every product is different, everything is different per scenario. Generally, I would say where your CPCs are good, so your CPCs are healthy, your CPMs are healthy on your ad account, but your conversion rate is very low. That means that you have good traffic to your product page, but your product page doesn't convert. That means that you have to change your offer, or you have to improve your product page. I can, like I said before, I can talk hours about scenario planning, but like if you're in a bad scenario, it really depends on how bad it is. If you have very high cost per click, but your conversion rate is very healthy, vice versa. Your product page is probably converting very well, but you just have too expensive traffic, which basically means you have to make better ads. Last but not least, one more thing which I want to dive into. I know it's going to be a very long tutorial. I'm also cooked, I'm not gonna lie, because you guys give me thousands of questions about this. How the fuck do I set up my company structure? We're gonna be putting here Alex Chen company method. Obviously, I am not a financial advisor, but what I would generally recommend to you guys, okay, regarding your company, that really depends on what country you're from. We want to start with you are in here. In wherever country you're from, what I would just do is you open a company in your local country. Unless you're from a third world country, India, Pakistan, whatever, you could consider to open an actual company in a first world country like UK or the US or Europe, okay? But generally, if you're from a first world country, think Netherlands, Germany, anywhere US, UK, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, you can generally just open a company in your local country as a sole proprietor, private company. I would generally recommend to go for the cheapest method and then just open a company, put your Shopify payments on that. The reason why I wanted to discuss it, because I see a lot of guys online, actual guys who are big in this game, recommending a lot of you guys to not set up a company and to worry about taxes later. I feel like a big brother in this situation. Don't do that. Actually open a proper company before you're gonna do this. Like, don't commit tax fraud, please. Like, if you're gonna do that, don't do it on my name. You didn't hear it from me, okay? It's not worth making money which is not clean. Worry about your taxes in the beginning, otherwise it's gonna be paying your back and gonna be eating your fucking ass later. This is my company method. Easy. You just set up a company in your local country and you're gonna do it like that. Like once you guys are further in the game, you can always send me a DM and I can look at your personal situation. Okay, this is your current situation. For example, you're living in the Netherlands, you're living in the US, you're living in the UK, you are a tax resident there. Structure it like this, where you can basically minimize your taxes, you can have lowest payment processing fees, and you can have the cleanest cash flow in there. Also, if you want to exit your company one day, you have to structure it correctly. And that's where a good coach like me comes in. But if you're just starting out, go for the Alex Chen company method. Very simple. But I still want to discuss it. Otherwise, I'm gonna get hundreds of comments of all you miserable fucks saying, oh, what about taxes? Hey Alex, what the fuck do I do a company? Here's the answer. Once you do $10,000 plus per day, ask me directly in my DM. I can help you also in the mentorship personally with this structure. And that wraps up the full step-by-step e-commerce business course. Now you got the full fucking blueprint for you to take action and apply everything you just learned. Because that's the only thing that's standing between you and real results. That's action. But if you guys want to have a shortcut to success and a direct path to success without any headaches, click the link below and apply for the mentorship. With that said, my head is absolutely cooked. You guys got the whole blueprint to go successful. Leave a like on this video. At least comment in this video what you thought about it. And send me a Shopify screenshot once you got your first revenue. That's the least you can do. Comment in this video, like it, subscribe on the channel. See you guys on the next video. Ciao.